Have you noticed that everyday life feels a little more expensive, a little more uncertain, and sometimes more tense than it did recently? Gas prices fluctuate more often, groceries seem to cost more, flights take longer, even the apps on your phone behave differently. At first glance, these things might seem unrelated, but in reality, they are connected by something most people rarely think about: geopolitics. When people hear the word geopolitics, they usually imagine world leaders in suits, diplomatic summits, or conflicts happening thousands of miles away. It sounds distant, abstract, something that belongs on the evening news but not in your kitchen, your commute, or your bank account. But the truth is, global politics has quietly woven itself into the fabric of everyday life. Decisions made in government buildings, trade negotiations, and international rivalries ripple outward and eventually land right on your doorstep. Today, we're breaking down how today's geopolitical tensions are sneaking into your everyday life and why understanding them helps you navigate the world. Let's start with one of the most obvious places where global tensions show up: energy. Energy prices are incredibly sensitive to geopolitical events. When conflicts break out or major oil producers change policies, the impact can travel around the world almost instantly. For example, the ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine has dramatically reshaped energy markets, especially in Europe. Russia used to supply a large portion of natural gas. When that supply became unstable, prices shot up across the continent. At the same time, instability in the Middle East around critical shipping routes like the Strait of Hormuz can threaten the global flow of oil. Whenever markets sense risk, prices react. That's how something thousands of miles away ends up affecting your heating bill or gas price. In colder regions, rising natural gas prices have pushed heating costs higher. Many landlords are now passing those increases on to tenants. People are starting to rethink home heating. Smart thermostats, better insulation, and heat pump systems are becoming increasingly popular ways to soften the blow. A friend's landlord recently installed a smart thermostat that automatically lowers the temperature during the workday to save on costs. It's a small example showing how technology is quietly adapting to a world where energy is no longer as predictable or cheap. Now let's move to something everyone notices immediately: food prices. If you feel like things cost more lately, you're not imagining it. Food supply chains are global. Geopolitical tensions can influence exactly what ends up on your plate and how much it costs. Trade tensions between the United States and China can increase tariffs on products like soybeans or seafood, raising costs throughout the system. Animal feed becomes more expensive, which then raises the price of meat and dairy products in your local supermarket. When instability occurs in trade routes, cargo ships take longer paths, leading to higher fuel costs and delivery times. I saw strawberries selling for $6 a pound. The vendor explained the shipment took a longer route due to disruptions far away. Suddenly, a geopolitical issue was influencing the price of a box of fruit. This is also why we see more plant-based alternatives today. Next, transportation and travel. Air travel is quietly affected by geopolitical tensions in ways many passengers never actually notice. Airspace closures over conflict zones force airlines to reroute. Planes fly extra miles to avoid restricted areas, increasing fuel use. Passengers might notice a longer flight time, but airlines are dealing with rising operational costs that eventually reflect in ticket prices. Technology rivalries affect electric vehicles too. Transitioning to electric cars depends on advanced semiconductors and specialized battery components. Competition between major powers has created export restrictions. This pushes delivery times further out for many new car buyers. Now let's move into the digital world. Geopolitics is increasingly shaping what happens on your phone and computer. Global cyber competition pushes governments to tighten rules around tech companies, telecom providers, and cloud services for national security. This leads to stricter regulations and sometimes outright bans on certain apps. Sanctions can also disrupt the software ecosystems we rely on. Cybersecurity threats spike during crises. Phishing scams often disguise themselves as official travel advisories or emergency alerts. Scammers know people are paying attention to the news. Geopolitics is also reshaping our workplaces and social dynamics. Migration patterns shift as conflicts force relocation. Workplaces become more diverse as people build new lives in different countries. Companies now have teams dedicated to analyzing geopolitical risk, affecting supply chains, and even internal compliance training. Finally, geopolitical tensions quietly affect nearly everyone's mental health. Modern news cycles operate 24 hours a day. Constant exposure to stories about conflict and instability can create a lingering sense of uncertainty and stress. Many experience the late-night scroll, checking updates and realizing it is 2 in the morning. This leads to exhaustion and unease. Psychologists call this ambient stress. It is the background tension created by constant exposure to events out of our control. A healthy way to deal with this is setting boundaries. Limiting news and focusing on local community connections can restore balance. Geopolitics used to feel distant and disconnected, but in today's globalized world, it flows through every system we use. Its effects show up in grocery prices, heating costs, and the apps on your phone. Awareness gives you the ability to adapt. When you understand these forces, you can make smarter decisions about energy, travel, and digital security. The world has always been complex. What is different today is how closely connected everything has become. Next time something in your routine changes, a geopolitical story is likely unfolding in the background. Recognizing that is the first step. Make sure to like and subscribe for more content. Have you noticed global politics affecting your routine? Share your experience below.